Have you felt an urgent, almost burning desire to pray or confess when everything around you seemed normal? What if I told you that these are not coincidences, but signs that your guardian angel is actively warning you of a spiritual danger that could harm your soul? Today, you will discover 3 powerful signs that few know about, revealed through the mystical experiences of Saint Faustina Kowalska, the Apostle of Divine Mercy. These signs could be happening in your life right now, and you might not even realize it. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to learn can transform your spiritual life forever and help you recognize the protective presence that walks beside you every single day. Before we continue, if you want to deepen your spiritual life and learn more about the teachings and counsels of Saint Faustina, subscribe to the channel right now. Activate the notification bell so you do not miss any of the powerful revelations that can strengthen your walk with God. Now, let us begin this profound journey together. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this scene. You are walking through your daily routine, surrounded by noise, distractions, and the constant demands of modern life. Everything seems normal, ordinary, unremarkable. But in the invisible realm, in the dimension that our physical eyes cannot perceive, a battle is taking place. A battle for your soul, for your eternal destiny, for the choices you will make today that can bring you closer to God or push you away from Him. In this battle, you are not alone. Next to you, with wings of light and a gaze fixed on the face of God, stands your guardian angel. He was assigned to you by God Himself from the moment of your conception, and His mission is crystal clear: to protect you, guide you, illuminate your path, and warn you when danger approaches. This is not a fairy tale. This is not religious folklore. This is solid Catholic doctrine, confirmed by sacred scripture, by the teachings of the Church, and by the profound mystical experiences of the saints throughout the centuries. Saint Faustina Kowalska, the simple Polish nun who became one of the greatest mystics of the 20th century, had direct and frequent experiences with her guardian angel. In her diary, she describes how her angel guided her, protected her from spiritual traps, helped her discern between the voice of God and the voice of the enemy, and warned her when she was about to make decisions that could harm her soul or distance her from the will of God. These were not vague sensations or superstitious beliefs. These were real, concrete, transformative encounters that shaped her spiritual life and her mission to proclaim divine mercy to the entire world. Faustina understood something that many Catholics today have forgotten. The guardian angel is not a passive presence, not a mere symbol of comfort for children, but an active warrior, a strategic counselor, a vigilant guardian who never sleeps and never abandons his post. The Church teaches us, based on the words of Jesus Himself, that we each have an angel who contemplates the face of the Father in heaven and, at the same time, watches over us here on earth. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 10, Jesus says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." This means that right now, as you listen to these words, your guardian angel is in the presence of God, interceding for you, receiving instructions, and preparing to act on your behalf. He knows your struggles, your temptations, your weaknesses, and your secret battles. He does not read your mind like God does, because only God can penetrate the depths of the human heart, but He knows you through long experience, through observing your patterns, your choices, your responses to grace. And when spiritual danger approaches, when the enemy prepares a trap, when you are about to step into an occasion of sin or make a decision that will lead you away from God, your guardian angel acts. But here is the problem. Most people do not recognize these signs. They miss the warnings because they are too distracted, too busy, too spiritually numb to perceive the gentle movements of grace in their daily lives. They rush through their days without pausing to listen, without creating space for silence, without cultivating the spiritual sensitivity needed to discern the voice of their guardian angel. And as a result, they fall into traps that could have been avoided. They make choices that bring suffering and distance from God. They waste precious graces that were offered to them but not received. This is why today's message is so urgent and so necessary. If you learn to recognize the 3 signs that your guardian angel uses to warn you of spiritual danger, you will be equipped to navigate the spiritual battlefield with wisdom, courage, and supernatural protection. You will no longer walk blindly through life. You will walk with eyes open, with spiritual senses alert, with a heart ready to respond to the subtle but powerful interventions of your celestial guardian. The first sign that your guardian angel is warning you of spiritual danger is a gentle but clear light in your conscience that reveals deception and calls you to make a decision. This is not a loud voice, not a dramatic vision, not an earthquake or a thunderclap. It is a quiet illumination, a sudden clarity that pierces through confusion and makes you see reality as it truly is. One moment, something seemed innocent, harmless, or even virtuous. The next moment, you see it for what it really is: a trap, a distraction, an occasion of sin, a path that leads away from God. This light comes with peace, not with panic. It comes with humility, not with pride. It comes with a sense of truth, not with condemnation. And it often arrives accompanied by the memory of God's word, by a recent confession, by advice you received from a spiritual director, or by a teaching from the church that suddenly becomes clear and applicable to your situation. Saint Faustina describes many experiences in her diary where this interior light revealed the root of a spiritual danger that she had not fully recognized. Sometimes it was vanity disguised as zeal, the desire to appear holy rather than to truly be holy. Sometimes it was spiritual curiosity that was sliding toward pride, the temptation to seek extraordinary experiences rather than to humbly embrace the ordinary duties of her state in life. Sometimes it was small concessions, little compromises that seemed insignificant, but that, in reality, were weakening her prayer life and opening the door to greater falls. When this light came, Faustina learned to respond immediately. She did not debate with herself, did not analyze endlessly, did not wait until the feeling passed. She acted, she changed course, she interrupted the action, she moved away from the occasion, she ran to prayer, she sought the sacraments. She understood that this light was a gift, a merciful intervention from heaven, and that to ignore it or delay would be to risk falling into the very danger she was being warned about. This is the first way your guardian angel warns you. He illuminates your conscience with a gentle but firm light that shows you the truth about a situation, a relationship, a decision, a thought pattern, a habit, or an action you are considering. This light does not come from your own reasoning, because your reasoning can be clouded by desires, fears, or rationalizations. It comes from above, from the wisdom of heaven, channeled through your guardian angel who sees clearly what you cannot see and who knows the traps that lie ahead on the path you are considering. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever felt a sudden clarity about something that, just moments before, seemed perfectly fine? That moment when you suddenly realize that the conversation you are having is leading you toward gossip, that the website you are browsing is opening the door to impurity, that the purchase you are about to make is feeding vanity rather than meeting a real need, that the relationship you are pursuing is based on attraction rather than on virtue and the will of God. That is the first sign. That is your guardian angel showing you the truth and giving you the grace to choose differently. How should you respond to this first sign? The answer is simple but requires courage and promptness. You must act immediately. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not try to negotiate with the light. Interrupt the course of your thought or action right away. If you are browsing something dangerous, close the tab, turn off the device, walk away from the screen. If you are in a conversation that is becoming toxic, change the subject, excuse yourself politely, or simply remain silent. If you are about to make a decision that the light reveals as unwise, postpone it and go to prayer. Invoke your guardian angel out loud or in your heart. Holy angel of the Lord, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Ask him to strengthen your will, to remove the attraction to the dangerous path, to flood your heart with the love of God so that you can choose what is right, even when it is difficult. The light that reveals the danger also brings with it the grace to respond well, but you must cooperate. You must move your feet, close the door, change the direction. Your guardian angel can inspire you, warn you, enlighten you, but he cannot force you. He respects your freedom and he waits for your response. Will you respond with courage and obedience, or will you ignore the warning and continue toward the danger? The second sign that your guardian angel is warning you of spiritual danger appears not in your thoughts, but in the circumstances of your life. It is the sign of providential obstacles that seem to block your path, that prevent you from going where you planned to go, or doing what you intended to do. These are not random inconveniences. They are divine interventions, carefully orchestrated by the providence of God and often carried out through the ministry of your guardian angel. A door that suddenly closes, an unexpected delay, a change of plans beyond your control, a person who does not show up, a technology that fails at just the right moment, a sickness that keeps you home, a financial limitation that prevents a purchase, a schedule conflict that makes something impossible. When these things happen, most people react with frustration, with impatience, with complaints. They try to force the situation, to find a way around the obstacle, to push through no matter what. But the spiritually sensitive soul pauses and asks, Could this be a warning? Could God be protecting me from something I cannot see? Saint Faustina experienced this kind of providential intervention many times in her life. In her diary, she recounts situations where plans fell through unexpectedly, where she was prevented from going somewhere or meeting someone, where obstacles arose that, at first, seemed like inconveniences but later revealed themselves as protections. She learned to trust that when God closes a door, it is always for a reason. Sometimes the reason is to protect us from danger, sometimes it is to redirect us to a better path, sometimes it is to teach us patience and humility, sometimes it is to test our trust and our willingness to submit to His will rather than insisting on our own plans. Faustina learned to stop fighting against these obstacles and to start receiving them with gratitude, with the assumption that God knows better than she does and that her guardian angel is at work behind the scenes, arranging circumstances for her spiritual good. Think about this carefully. How many times have you been frustrated by an unexpected delay, only to discover later that the delay saved you from an accident, from a dangerous encounter, from a temptation you were not ready to face? How many times has a door closed that you desperately wanted to walk through, only to realize months or years later that walking through that door would have led you into pain, into sin, into a situation that would have damaged your soul or derailed your vocation? These are not coincidences. They are the fingerprints of divine providence. They are the work of angels who move circumstances, who influence events, who create delays and obstacles to steer you away from harm and toward the path of life. Your guardian angel does not have the power to override your free will, but he does have the power to arrange circumstances, to place barriers in your way, to make certain paths more difficult so that you will pause, reconsider, and turn to God in prayer before making a final decision. How should you respond to this second sign? When you encounter an unexpected obstacle, when plans fall apart in ways that are beyond your control, do not immediately react with frustration or with attempts to force your way through. Instead, pause, create space for silence, go before the crucifix if possible, or simply close your eyes wherever you are and turn your heart to God. Ask yourself honestly, why do I want this so badly right now? Is this truly the will of God, or is it just my own desire, my own agenda, my own idea of how things should be? Pray this simple prayer: Guardian Angel, if this obstacle is a warning, if God is trying to protect me from something I cannot see, then help me to accept it with peace and trust. Show me the better way. Lead me on the path that God has chosen for me, and then wait. Wait in prayer, wait in silence, wait for the peace that comes when you surrender your plans to God. If the peace grows, if the urgency and the frustration begin to fade, if you feel a quiet sense that this obstacle is indeed a protection, then accept it with gratitude. Thank your guardian angel for the intervention. Thank God for loving you enough to rearrange your circumstances for your good. And then move forward with openness to the new direction that He is revealing. If you have ever experienced this, if there was a moment in your life when an unexpected obstacle turned out to be a divine protection, write in the comments. I want to know the truth. Your testimony can be a light for someone else who is struggling to trust God's providence right now. And if you feel that this message is touching your heart deeply, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, because every week we share teachings and revelations that can transform your spiritual life and bring you closer to the heart of divine mercy. The third sign that your guardian angel is warning you of spiritual danger is perhaps the most powerful and the most direct. It is an insistent, almost urgent, interior call to prayer and to the sacraments. This is not a vague religious feeling. This is a specific, concrete desire that suddenly arises in your heart. The desire to stop everything and pray. The desire to go to confession even though you confessed recently. The desire to attend Mass or make a visit to the Blessed Sacrament even when your schedule seems impossibly full. This desire comes with a sense of urgency, with a feeling that this is not optional, that this is exactly what you need to do right now, that everything else can wait, but this cannot. When this sign comes, it is a clear indication that spiritual danger is near and that your soul needs to be fortified, cleansed, and filled with grace in order to withstand the attack that is coming or to escape the trap that has already been set. Saint Faustina learned through her own experience that the spiritual battle is won or lost in the concrete practices of the sacramental life. She wrote in her diary that all the strength of her soul came from the Holy Eucharist, that she could not imagine living a single day without Holy Communion, that the confessional was the place where the river of divine mercy flowed most abundantly for her. She understood that prayer is not an escape from reality, but an entry into the deepest reality, the reality of God's presence and power. And she understood that the sacraments are not just rituals or obligations, but encounters with the living Christ, moments when heaven touches earth and divine grace floods the soul with light, strength, healing, and protection. When Saint Faustina felt the interior call to pray or to receive the sacraments, she did not hesitate. She did not say, "I will do it later when I have more time." She responded immediately, rearranging her schedule, asking permission from her superiors, finding a way to make it happen, and every time she responded to this call, she experienced a profound strengthening of her soul, a clarity of mind, a peace of heart, and a victory over temptations that had been plaguing her. This third sign is the way your guardian angel prepares you for battle. When he sees that a spiritual attack is imminent, when he perceives that the enemy is preparing a strong temptation, or that you are walking into a situation that will test your faith and your virtue, he inspires in your heart a hunger for God, a thirst for prayer, a longing for the sacraments. He knows that you cannot fight the spiritual battle in your own strength. He knows that you need the armor of God, the grace of the sacraments, the light of prayer, the presence of Christ in your soul. And so he moves your heart to seek these things, to prioritize them, to make them urgent even when everything else in your life is demanding your attention. Have you ever felt this? Have you ever been going through a normal day and suddenly you feel a strong desire to pray, to go to church, to confess, to sit before the tabernacle? That is not a random feeling. That is your guardian angel ringing the alarm bell in your soul saying, "Stop, pray, receive grace. You're going to need it." How should you respond to this third sign? The answer is simple. Prioritize. Do not let this moment pass. Do not say, "I will do it tomorrow," or "I do not have time right now." Make time. Adjust your schedule. Cancel something less important. Ask someone to cover for you at work or at home. Do whatever it takes to respond to this call, because it is not coming from your own desires or from your own agenda. It is coming from heaven, from the heart of God who loves you and who knows exactly what you need in this moment. If the call is to pray, then stop what you are doing and pray. Find a quiet place, even if it is just your car or a corner of your home, and spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour in silence before God. Pour out your heart to Him. Ask Him to show you what danger is approaching. Ask your guardian angel to protect you, to strengthen you, to guide you. If the call is to go to confession, then make it a